Who is Jesus? Well, today we're going to look in John chapter 8 at a very famous statement Jesus made. There are 7 I am statements Jesus makes in the book of John, and we're going to look at one of those today. But before we get there, let's go back to the beginning. In John chapter 8, all the way back in verse 32, Jesus is talking to some people, and he says things like, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And he says, "If the Son sets you free," verse 36, "then you are truly free." So what Jesus wanted was to make people free. Apparently, they had some trouble accepting this, because in John 8:45, Jesus said, "Because I tell you the truth, you don't believe me. Can any of you prove me guilty of anything wrong, any sin? I'm telling you the truth. Why don't you believe me? Whoever belongs to God," here's what God says, "the reason you don't listen to me is you don't belong to God." Wow. Jesus is dropping some truth bombs here. So their view of themselves, their religion, and their own morality was keeping them from hearing the truth of who Jesus was. Apparently, this inner struggle is in all of us, and it comes to the surface. John 8:51, "Very truly I tell you," Jesus says, "whoever obeys my word will never see death." At this they exclaimed, Hey, now we know you're demon-possessed." Wow, what an accusation to make against Jesus. "Abraham died, and so did the prophets," they said. "Yet you say, whoever obeys your word will never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham? He died, and so did the prophets." And then here comes the question. Who do you think you are? Now that is the core question. Jesus is going to answer in a second who he thought he was. But the real question is, who do you think he is? So, John 8:56, "Your father Abraham," Jesus said, "your father Abraham rejoiced at the thought of seeing my day. He saw it and he was glad." And they said to him, "Jesus, you're not yet 50 years old, yet you tell us you've seen Abraham?" You ready? Here comes the bomb. Who do you think you are? Here it is. John 8:58, "Very truly I tell you, before Abraham was born, I am." Now, the proper syntax and the proper tense would be to say, before Abraham was born, I was. But Jesus doesn't do that, because he's calling to mind Exodus 3:14, where God revealed himself as, "I am who I am." And Jesus is saying he is the proclaimer of truth. He's saying that he existed before Abraham. He is saying all these things, and he says very simply, before Abraham was born, I am who I am. Do you think they understood him? Yeah, remember he's already called them out. Their hearts weren't open. In John 8:59, at this, they picked up stones to stone him. So who's Jesus? I am. I am that I am, the giver of truth. Who do you think he is? It's the biggest question we can all ask. Who is Jesus?